in B2C business, it's all about emotions. The customer has to feel good about using your service. Thousands of customers sit in BluSmart cars every day, and each experience has to be unique. Today, if I go to the airport wearing a BluSmart shirt, I think there are 500,000 people who want to congratulate. Welcome, Shradha.
Hello. Oh, this is interesting. How come you started this?
Been a serial entrepreneur, so always been in the clean tech space, clean and green space. Was doing renewable energy, solar energy before this, and primarily my thought was that any technology where efficiency is going to improve and cost is going to decrease, we should, that will have mass adoption. Similarly, we thought that electric mobility also, from the costliest form of transportation, will become the cheapest form of transportation, and that's why I wanted to do something in electric mobility. Had got good experience of building decent sized businesses, so thought this is an interesting space to be in, and plus the market opportunity was great. I think Ride-Hail is a huge opportunity. Everybody in the city is looking forward to an efficient Ride-Hail company, and so we thought great company, a great business model, and let's get into it.
But why do you say great business model?
There are two things, ma'am, which have helped us. Number one, fuel costs. Our fuel cost is 1/5 the fuel cost of ICE engine cars. Two, when driver partners take these cars on debt, they pretty much pay something like a 18-20% rate of interest. Whereas when these cars come through an institution like what we are doing, the interest rates are sub 10%. So we have a massive difference on interest rates, massive amount of difference on the fuel cost, which means overall our cost structure is 30-40% cheaper than our competition. So even if we do 30-40% lesser revenue, or even with the same revenue, we will turn profitable much earlier than what our competition will do. Anyways, profitability, everybody wants to get profitable. I think there is no company in the world in current scenario which doesn't want to just doesn't want to turn profitable.
Yeah, true.
But for a company which is just 3 years old, also impacted by COVID for half of our life. Imagine, mobility was the worst word in the world when we just launched. We started in July of 19. By March of 20, mobility was the worst word in the world. And despite being zero revenue for about 1.5 years out of our 3 years journey, we are still very close to profitability, and that's what is exciting us. So we are happy.
Is your pricing also to the consumer lesser than the competition?
No, we've not tried to compete on pricing. Pricing is we are up there. We are almost priced as where competition is, except for the fact that we don't do surge pricing. So a lot of consumers feel very unfair about surge pricing.
Yes,
we do not
I do too.
So we do not do surge pricing. I think in our head also we believe that it's an unfair way of kind of being opportunistic. If there is rain on the road, why do the prices need to go 3 times? So we believe there should not be opportunism around it, and that's why we have flat pricing. In fact, more people you speak to, they're willing to say, Anmol, we are willing to pay 50 rupees extra per trip, but give us great service. We don't want cancellations. We don't want dirty cars. Charge 50 rupees more. We don't care about that. What we care about is car coming on time, not cancelling, great driver partners. I think that's more important than a 50 rupees more or less on any trip.
Anmol, tell me, I saw you have a lot of interesting investors, and a lot of them different. I don't know if they were angels.
We have 180 investors, man.
180. So अगर तुमने क्या कहा कि वो कहे कि अच्छा ये है players, मगर BluSmart is smart and needs a chance.
So ma'am, देखिए, story started like Puneet Goyal and myself, we co-founded BluSmart. Both of us have been in the renewable energy space, and we were lucky that our previous businesses have been doing very well. So people made a lot of money with us. So we had a great amount of credibility with investors. And when the early investors had a huge amount of doubt, how are you going to take on the two very large companies in the market. This is a very capital intensive business. How are you going to focus on all of that? So there were a lot of doubts that they had, but they had one thing positive, which is to say that we are backing proven founders. Very happy, very lucky that we got their support. But it's only Series A when the first institution kind of came in onto the cap table. So that's why we have a lot of investors, 180 of them. Very proud to have 180 shareholders as a startup.
Tell me, all the cars that you have, do you buy them? Do you lease them? Do you have some kind of an agreement? Because I read that you bought from Tata's and MG Motors.
Right.
No?
So 95% of our cars are Tata cars. About 5% of our cars are premium cars, which is the MG ZS and the BYD. So that's like the 100% composition of the fleet. What we do is that we have large institutions which give us cars. A lot of foreign investors, the Brookfields of the world, the Macquarie's of the world, the Orixes of the world, to now who are saying that we are willing to back electric vehicle as an asset and provide large scale leasing for this. Okay. So that's where I think the market's becoming very interesting.
Is anyone else doing something similar?
We've heard of 2-3 companies starting up on similar BluSmart model. So there's one in Calcutta, there's one in Delhi, there's one in Bombay, all having about 150 odd cars as to start.
BluSmart के जो persona है users, is there something different that you figured?
हाँ मैम, बहुत interesting. जैसे आपको चीज़ बताता हूँ. We have 40% of our users are iPhone users.
Interesting.
Which basically says that this is a different kind of a profile of customer.
Yeah.
I have not, and I've spoken to a lot of founders, and I've spoken to a lot of Gartner, etc. I have not come across an app which has had 40% iPhone users. 51% of our consumers are ladies.
Interesting.
Generally, on ride-hail businesses or on mobility businesses, we see the amount of ladies which are there or women which are there is just about 20-25%. That's like the industry average. We are double of that industry average. And the biggest segment that we have on our consumer is what we call the young mom segment. The young mom segment, how we classify it, is ladies in the age group of 25 to 35 and we see their trip patterns. Every day starting from home, going to the crèche, dropping the child, going to the office, evening mein wo trip repeat hota hai. So we see so many of them. I can tell you on a daily basis about 3,000-4,000 young women use BluSmart services on a daily basis. So that's a very, very important cohort of our users. Extreme stickiness that we have with our customers. And all of this comes with zero marketing. Our marketing budget for the entire year, like January to December of 2022, we would have spent less than 1 crore rupees on marketing.
Wow.
Less than 1 crore rupees on marketing for the full year.
You know, I heard about BluSmart. जब मैंने कहा I'm interviewing and talking to you, then people had that, it's very clean and the experience has been very nice. So what is the effort that you put in to ensure that the experience is it something consciously that you're working on?
So सबसे पहले तो driver selection. It is not that anybody can drive on the BluSmart car. Driver has to pass through a psychological test, a physical test, a driving test, and then only the driver is getting onboarded, and उसके बाद भी उनका पूरा background verification करने के बाद. So we have, out of 10 people who apply, 3 driver partners get selected. So it's a very stringent process that we have for selecting the driver partners. दूसरा जो important चीज़ हुई मैम, जो electric cars के साथ में सब कहते हैं कि एक बेन है कि ये गाड़ी दिन में 2 घंटे चार्ज होती है. वी यूज दोस 2 hours एज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी. हमने बोला जब वो 2 घंटे गाड़ी चार्ज हो रही है तो यार उसकी सफाई कर दो. गाड़ी तो खड़ी है. सो ऑल आवर चार्जिंग हब्स हैव क्लीनिंग स्टाफ.
इंटरेस्टिंग.
सो व्हाट इट डज इज दैट जब गाड़ी चार्ज होके निकलती है तो इट्स एब्सोल्युटली फ्रेश. फिर हमने बोला कि जो छोटी छोटी मेंटेनेंस है, किसी का बम्पर हो गया, कोई साइड मिरर हो गया, फिक्स ऑल ऑफ दैट. सो व्हेनेवर द कार मूव्स आउट ऑन द रोड, यू विल नॉट सी अ BluSmart car with a broken window, broken side window or a broken bumper, etc. because all of these gets fixed when the car is getting charged.
Interesting.
So I would say we did some small commonsensical stuff than some big bang innovation. BluSmart is about doing a lot of small things correct than it is about कि हमने कोई इलेक्ट्रिक गाड़ी नहीं बनाई मैम. I am not like Elon Musk कि हमने कोई गाड़ी डिजाइन करी और बहुत अच्छी. We are operators of cars which are manufactured by Tatas and MGs, and we just operate them nicely.
Yeah.
We did a lot of innovation on tech. I think on the tech side we did a lot of innovation क्योंकि आप अगर देखेंगे मैम कोई भी राइड हेल कंपनी ये नहीं सोचती है कि गाड़ी में फ्यूल खत्म हो जाएगा. दे ऑलवेज अज्यूम दैट गाड़ी में तेल तो हमेशा होगा ही होगा, फ्यूल होगा ही, और नहीं होगा फ्यूल तो वो लोग 5-6 मिनट का डिटूर लेके दे विल फिल अप द टैंक. Whereas it's not the same with electric cars. With electric cars तो आपको you have to be very conscious of what fuel the car is carrying. So वो वाला algorithm बनाना और not just कि distance से driver match करेगा, but fuel कितना carry कर रहा है उसके हिसाब से भी गाड़ी match होनी चाहिए customer के साथ is a very complex problem that we solved.
When I searched you, it said, oh, BluSmart is closing $200 million round. So
Correct.
I said 250 million.
Correct.
What's the news?
That news item is correct, ma'am. So God be kind. I think we are, we should be closing a round of in that magnitude of what you mentioned. It could happen in two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 1 is what we expect. God should be kind. We should close out in the next 60 odd days, Christmas vacations, etc., etc. So I think the world gets back, especially European American investors, they get back by 15th of Jan. Should take us 30-45 days after that to close the phase 1 of the round, and phase 2 of the round is subject to certain milestones that we have to hit, etc.
Yeah, so it would also so it would be on the back of the phenomenal growth that you're seeing and
Yes,
the
ma'am.
numbers you would be projecting. So what's the growth like?
So if I can share with you, ma'am, in 3 years, BluSmart today is doing an annual revenue of about 250 crores. We expect, and we are doubling every quarter. So perhaps by April next year, this would have touched the 500 crore revenue run rate. So good revenue growth which is coming on back of 2-3 things. One, which is the number of fleet. So just to share with you, ma'am, today we operate 3,000 cars. By next April, we'll be operating 6,000 cars. So the fleet is also doubling. There is substantial pricing power that the brand has. So we are able to increase the prices at regular intervals. Basically, not leaving any money on the table. Burn is extremely low, given that we hardly spend on marketing, given that our fuel prices and interest rates are lower. Put together all of this, we believe, one, we will be profitable very soon. Two, we will start to generate a very substantial EBITDA margin. So which actually is most of the investors actually ask us, Anmol, is this true? Is this real? And will this actually happen? So that's how we look at the business, ma'am.
For you, the expense would be mostly what?
Our 3-4 major heads. One is of course the lease of the cars.
Yeah.
2 is the driver partners.
Yeah.
3 is the fuel, which is electricity, and 4th is insurance, repair, etc., which is there.
Yeah.
So these are the 4 major heads which are there. So we have already broken even on 3.5 out of 4. It's just one component half which is left, and I think, like I mentioned, in the next 2-3 months we should be able to kind of grow through that hump and become an EBITDA positive company.
But in 2019, just to say that, listen, I'm going to do this and we're going to have this in the world of Ola and Uber and everything.
Yeah, I think, ma'am, I still can't believe this has happened. Anybody say, I literally don't believe that angel investors gave us money, and then of course British Petroleum and others who gave us money.
Yeah.
To say that we will take on 2 large companies and with electric cars.
Yes.
जब electric cars की खुद ही provenness नहीं है, सिर्फ 110 किलोमीटर रेंज की गाड़ी होती थी. Now this car that we are in is a 250 kilometer range car. The Tata Tigor cars is giving us 200 kilometer plus. But the first car that we got were 110 kilometers range. To say कि we will take on very large Goliaths with a weapon which is electric car, I think. But yes, this has happened, and despite COVID.
But then it's very interesting. I want you to come back to this.
Sure.
Is that thinking of something like this also requires an audacity, or a conviction, a confidence, and a belief. And somewhere you think that what was that belief coming from, the business logic of it, or
ma'am,
also there was
research,
a
ma'am.
hope?
So between Puneet and myself, see, Blue started in July of 2019. Puneet and me started thinking about the BluSmart concept from October of 18. So October of 18 to June of 19, we were only researching. BluSmart, when it started in June 19, started on the Uber platform. All the first 70 cars that we had were on the Uber platform, and then we built our own app. Our CTO built our own app, and then we started BluSmart as our own app. Earlier, we clearly saw that at certain places the the business model of the two large players was broken. Number one, net cars were not coming through. Driver partners were no longer interested in buying cars and deploying them on the platform. Reason number two, we thought कि यार अगर आप customer को खुश नहीं रखेंगे ना तो बड़ा मुश्किल है scale up होना. So that was another. Three, every possible indication that we had told us that our cost structure is going to be 40% cheaper than
Everyone else.
Than everybody else. So that's why we were very happy कि if we can keep the customer happy, if we can have a better technology which is great for the environment, have a cost structure which is 40% cheaper, looks like it's worth taking a bet. We built a lot of our tech during those lockdown days. जो भी हमको कमियां दिखती थी हमारे टेक में, क्योंकि ऑफ एंड ऑन होता था. वेव 1 आई, पूरा इंडिया लॉकडाउन में चला गया, सो वी बिल्ट सम टेक ओवर दैट टाइम. देन जब तक वेव 2 आई, वी लर्नड मोर कि हमारा टेक कहाँ पे फेल हो रहा है. So we further built tech in wave 2. So it was okay, not bad. I think. But yes, it was slightly challenging, and to convince investors at that time was further more challenging.
I think that would have been tough, no, initially.
Very tough, man.
Yeah. You know, but you had capital, no?
Yeah,
so you could have bootstrapped a bit and then
we
gone
were always
to
doing that.
Okay.
It was not that our business is going to get impacted. Even today, between Puneet and myself, because we've been serial entrepreneurs, there is good wealth creation which has happened in our lives. So we're not really too much stressed about raising capital. Capital is of course important and will come but more important is building a great product and a great company. Capital is a byproduct of all of it. And today also I don't have to worry कि यार हमारी कंपनी में कुछ burn है और हमको कुछ capex करना है. So great that we have British Petroleum as an investor who is willing to back us up, and the new investors which are coming in are absolutely great, largest companies in the world.
So which all markets? Now you're in Delhi,
Right.
Bangalore.
Right. No more markets for us, ma'am.
Huh.
I think the mobility is a business of going deep. Perhaps no new city is what we are going to open up in 2023. Delhi and Bangalore put together, we can deploy more than 100,000 cars.
Wow.
So huge potential which is there in just these two cities. So happy to just keep focusing on these two cities only.
Okay. So next 1 year at least, these two cities.
Yeah, these two cities. I don't see any reason of why we should go further into any other city.
So did you raise money for your last venture, the solar one?
Ma'am, solar went bootstrapped IPO.
Wow.
Solar
That in itself is a story.
Yeah, solar went. We never raised. The first money that we raised
bootstrap IPO. Wow.
Yeah, the first money that we raised was in the IPO.
Wow. Interesting.
There in a B2B business, you get a time to rectify things. Supposing some things go wrong, there's no customers posting it on Twitter, or you get a backlash. In B2C business, it's all about emotions. The customer has to feel good about using your service. The customer, it's on the go. Thousands of customers sit in BluSmart cars every day, and each experience has to be unique. Each time the customer has to get a clean car, each time the driver has to be great, each time the battery in the car needs to be fully sufficient. So it's a lot more challenging, very operational heavy business model which is there. But yes, I think but the recognition is great. Today, if I go to the airport wearing a BluSmart shirt, I think there are 500,000 people who want to congratulate.
What stresses you?
COVID stressed us a lot. I think in the past that was a big stress. Getting revenues to zero was a big stress. Now I think we are very stressed about building charging infra, ma'am. We're not very happy the way we are building or the world is building out charging infra. I think we need much more on charging infra. So charging infra clearly stresses us out. Ma'am, I have to mention that from day one of the history of BluSmart, we have been a 4.9 star rated app. I'd never want to see the 4.8 number. So
that's a very good thing.
You know, a lot of people, you know, they have to be a devil's advocate, and it's good to be. A lot of people say it is because our scale is small today, and when the scale increases, maybe we will not be able to maintain it. But that's like a personal challenge for me to keep maintaining the 4.9 star app rating. That is the biggest moat. You know, investors ask us, Anmol, is electric mobility your moat? I said nothing. 4.9 star rating, perpetual, is the only moat that we want. And actually, because of the very strong focus that we have around ratings, I think that this has got ingrained in the DNA of the team now. All our 5,000 kind of driver partners that we have, or all our team 300-400 team members that we have, all are just talking about how to maintain the 4.9 star rating. 5 star rating वो देने के लिए हो सकता है सोचेगा कि मैं 5 ट्रिप बाद दूंगा या 10 ट्रिप बाद दूंगा, but if any experience goes wrong, 1 star rating तो तुरंत ही मिल जाएगी.
How much does money drive you?
I think every logical decision has to be money based. It is very important, and I have to share this with you, ma'am, that I belong to Chandigarh, but in 2007 I moved to Ahmedabad to do the renewables business, and 15 years I've been at Ahmedabad. I just shifted to Gurgaon 6 months back.
Really?
So all my business training,
like for your business, you moved to Ahmedabad?
Yes, absolutely. So
wow.
Suzlon, I used to do a lot of work for Suzlon, and Tulsi Bhai told me, he's of course no more, and God bless his soul, but Tulsi Bhai told me, Anmol, I will only give you business if you are at Ahmedabad. I am not going to chase a startup in Chandigarh of whether they are working for me or not. If you want business, shift to Ahmedabad. So we shifted to Ahmedabad overnight, and this is 2007.
Wow.
I think I was that time 21 years. So
wow.
We shifted to Ahmedabad. I shifted to Ahmedabad, and the team also shifted overnight. We had just 70 team members at that time. So, and Tulsi Bhai was more than kind. He gave us huge amount of business, like tons of business is what he gave us. So very
but this is amazing because not many people will, as in, relocate from one place to the other.
फौजी बच्चे हैं मैम.
हाँ बस मतलब amazing है.
फौजी बच्चे हैं.
Amazing.
हम तो 15 स्कूल चेंज करे हुए बच्चे हैं तो.
नहीं बट इसमें मुझे सबसे बड़ा लर्निंग दिख रहा है कि जहाँ पे अपॉर्चुनिटी है और जहाँ कुछ करना है तो you have to do it.
हाँ, renewable energy was, Gujarat was the number 1 state for renewable energy, and चंडीगढ़ में बैठ के renewable energy कंपनी तो बननी नहीं थी. So I think we took a great call. So,
and you've just moved to
like 6 months back.
I also feel, Anmol, if you do this, then you're also building such a phenomenal story out of India for us as a country, right? This is like such a cool.
Yeah, I have
story.
to share this map. So now because India is hosting the G20, we get so many requests from all the countries who are coming into India to participate in G20. So many embassies, so many, even Indian, that they want to say that we want to demonstrate that there is a large-scale electric mobility startup which is emerging out of India. Ma'am, except Uber in London has 5,000 cars. The second highest number of electric cars operated by a fleet is BluSmart in Delhi.
Wow.
And by April we will beat the 5,000 mark of Uber in London.
What you're doing is basically a very amazing story for us as Indians to talk about, right? And especially in the startup ecosystem to say that, listen, this is happening from India.
Right.
Not, they're like first happening in India.
Very focused. I think one of the things is to stay focused. Don't get digressed. I want to do this, that, A, B, C, D. I just want to run clean cars, good cars, and keep my customers happy. That's it. That's the only thing that I want to do.
Brilliant. And 4.9.
And 4.9, yeah.
Absolutely. No, this is brilliant. Anmol, very proud of you. And what a ride. BluSmart ride.
I hope my driving was fine and
you're brilliant. You were brilliant, and I just enjoyed it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thank you. See you on, ma'am. Thanks a lot.